Hello and welcome to another episode of Stock Shots. Please remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just giving my opinion based on some things I see, like support and resistance, supply, demand, and of course, some indicators that may be on the screen. So always do your own due diligence. Make sure you educate yourself and always look to the left because we're looking at things that have already happened to think about what things may do in the future. So this is another episode of Stock Shots. Welcome.
All right, welcome to another episode of Stock Shots. And before we even get started, yes, if you have seen the news, you already know that there was an assassination attempt on ex-President Trump. So you're probably wondering how is this going to affect my TSP? Is everything going to be okay with the country? Only time will tell. But I'm going to tell you this: I recently just took my funds out of the S and C funds, and I put them into the I fund and F fund. So I put them into the bonds and the international fund. Like I really just did it on Friday. And the reason I did it is because there's really no information based on the past for the C, which we're looking at right now, the S&P 500, or the S fund, the Dow Jones Industrial. Now, the Dow Jones, we're going to talk about that momentarily because that may get a very strong pop coming up soon if it hasn't already started recently. For this one, for the C fund, if it continues, and this is a big if it continues because of the news that's happened, so fundamental news will affect your portfolio just like technical analysis. It may go up to 5,700, but based on the impact of what has happened, this could, and I'm only going to be doing this up until even numbers. So I got the next one at 5,800. Those are the two next levels I see: 5,700 and 5,800 for S&P 500, aka the C fund. All right. So what does the algorithm say? Algorithm says you're still on a great uptrend, but we are getting overextended and we still have divergence. So that was one of the main reasons I pulled the money out of this fund and I put it into the international and bond fund. And you'll see why when you look at the chart. This is currently saying you still got a good run up. I'd rather make some than and some money, not all the money. So I'm going to leave it where it is. So let's look at our next one, which is yeah, the S fund, Dow Jones. So this is just based off Friday. This one candle is the close, the week. So we are in a good, strong uptrend. We have respected an outer trend line. We've broken another trend line with 3 weeks of movement. We can get rid of that. Sorry, get out of here. Get rid of this. Currently, we're looking at 2,100 as the next target price. If you're continuing to go up, the reason, once again, I took the money out, divergence. So if you're unsure about what divergence is, I want you just to look at the top of the candles. So let's just say from here to here, even to the edge. We have a slight downtrend here, right? And if you do it from the bodies, here to here, you notice there is a bigger trend that is more pronounced. So that's showing us that even though you're pretty close to where we previously were, you're not exactly there. And if you look at the actual, let's get that down, this up, the actual strength of the market, this was our last biggest strength. This is only slightly off in the price, but in the actual strength, this is at 62. This one was at 70, so that's 8 off. So it looks like we have a trend that is going down. You can see it going down here, this yellow moving average inside of the RSI slash, I call it the Firadox 2 as my indicator. Yes, it's still green, but it's coming down. I would expect it to come down here to this 50 line here at the middle of the indicator. That would coincide with most likely this area right here, that 2038 area, for a touch or retest of this support, and then most likely a push up. But I'm just being cautious. I like being cautious with my money. So I know I was going to get a really good bounce in the bond market and in the international funds because of the news. So what's the news? The news was they're not going to be probably lowering the interest rate until December, but they gave a definite, pretty much we're going to do an interest rate cut. So if that's the case, then this fund here may get some push, and it did. So let's turn this and look at it. So we are at top here as well. But the thing about this one is I know I got a buy signal back here. It broke that area. It broke resistance. It closed above that 98.31. I'm looking for 99 and then 100. It came out of this flag pattern. So we were talking about this flag pattern over the last couple of weeks. We have our pole, we have our flag, and now we have our push to the upside. That's why I put my money in here this week. It coincided with what I already thought, and I left it up here so I can remember. I am very bad at remembering certain charts. But that goes with the fundamental news as well. So let's talk about the international fund. Now, you know, the international fund is very volatile at times, and it's been in a pattern where it's just been bouncing around. It was in a strong up pattern for a while. It came out, it consolidated, and this looks like the same thing. So we have a last lowest action was back here, and it was around 51, 52 in strength, and that was on April. Our last touch down there again, about that same thing, 51.50, that area in strength, and that was on June 10th, that week of June 10th. Love that week, it's my birthday. So, but you notice we have divergence. It's a little bit lower here, a little bit higher here. Price is still going up. Now, I thought it was going to be bearish divergence until I started seeing this candle last week. So the reason this candle made me want to get in, first and foremost, it broke the $79 range, and then it also broke the $79.86 range. So that was, to me, a great indicator to look for it to get in. It then came back down this week and hit the 14-day moving average and went above the 9-day moving average. It's going up to at least 82. And next week, I'm looking for it to go up to at least 82. If it goes past there, looking for 85 as the next area. The pivot points are going to reset most likely the next couple of days because price action is moving faster than they're being set. So at this point, I'm still bullish on international fund, and I'm bullish on the bond market. If, and this is the thing, if I get here and I meet strong resistance at that 82.17 range, I'm going to pull money out. I'm going to pull the money out of here because it may be forming a double top. So a double top could be one touch here and then another touch right here forming in this area. Now, if it can't break this area twice, it's probably going to come down. And if it does, I'm looking for it to come down most likely past this 14-day moving average here at $79 and down to the 48-day moving average at $75. That will coincide most likely because this will move up a tad and might be around $76, $75. If I meet resistance here, that means I have a double top and price is probably going to come down, or it'll consolidate. Either way, it's not making me money. I'll reevaluate putting it back into the C fund or the S fund. But that's it for this week. I hope it was helpful. Take your time. Make sure you keep abreast of what's happening in the news and what's happening with the charts. Good luck. Hope your portfolio stays green. Learn to wait for that win. See you next week.